everybody, and welcome back to A Beer a Day with TK. It is a rainy, humid day here in Findlay, Ohio. Anderson and I just got back from the Findlay military show, which was quite an interesting little place, and we're getting ready to do a beer review. So what do you think of the military show, man?
Well, first of all, it was way too hot for us to be walking around out there, and then it went from being way too hot to raining.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was a really cool thing, and I wish we'd had more time to go see it all.
Yeah, they had some flamethrower stuff
that thing was
cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, we were probably 50 yards away, and you could feel the heat from the flamethrower, man. It was pretty wild.
That was impressive.
They had all kinds of military machinery, including a small version of a Sherman tank, right? That was from the tank plant here in Lima, Ohio. All kinds of other stuff, so we picked up a few things. So while out at the military show, picked up a extended magazine for my Glock, picked up some MREs. I've seen a lot of videos about MREs on the internet, but I can't say that I've eaten one since I was in Boy Scouts when I was probably 12 or something. Philadelphia used to have a store called, I think it was called I. Goldberg's, which was a military surplus store. It was really cool. And when I was a young kid and in Boy Scouts, I remember going there and picking up like Vietnam era MREs to eat while we went camping. And to be fair, they were pretty terrible. So I'm hoping these are a little better. So this is beef ravioli and meat sauce, and we picked up a pork sausage maple flavored one. So maybe we'll try these out one of these days and see what they're like.
Yeah, I can remember having some MREs with Boy Scouts, and they came with like the littlest, tiniest little bottles of
the hot sauce.
Yeah.
I think they discontinued that because I saw somebody complaining about it, saying like back in the day they had those and they did away with them. They were kind of neat, the little hot sauce one. Yeah, they're pretty sweet. Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then the piece de resistance we picked up. The dummy grenade, right? I've wanted one of these forever. I know it's completely ridiculous and foolish, but I don't know, cool thing to have. So maybe it'll sit on my desk somewhere. I thought it was cool.
Or throw it at your neighbor making all the noise.
That's right. If you hear the noise in the background, these dudes are out here with this excavator. It's like almost 8 o'clock at night. They're out here with this thing making all kinds of racket. So maybe I'll scare them off and deter further action with this. Who knows? We'll see what happens. So, since we went to the military show today, we figured we'd pick a beer that fits the bill. So the beer we have today is called Steuben Tiger, and this is from Mettle Brewery, and they're out of Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yes. I actually had the opportunity to have some beers at this brewery last year, and while I was there, the owner came in, I believe his name was Mike, came in and talked to me for a little while and gave me a whole tour of the facilities. Super nice guy. He's an Air Force veteran, and it was just a really, really cool spot. If I remember correctly, it was an old parking garage they turned into a brewery.
I've never been down there. I can't say I've ever been in Cincinnati other than driving through while heading down south on 75. I need to get down there. What'd you say? There was like 50 breweries or something in Cincinnati?
There's a ton of breweries in
Some
Cincinnati.
absurd amount of breweries.
And this one's
in there.
right downtown. I believe it's like 4th Street, but it's really close to the, I can't think of the team, the Red Stadium and the Bengal Stadium. It's real close to the Bengal Stadium. Not that those two are far apart. But.
In the stadium district, huh?
Yeah.
Well, you do pass the stadiums when you go down 75, don't you? You see them off the side of 75, you pass by.
Right. I mean, I parked in the stadium parking lot and walked to this brewery.
Okay. So that's pretty cool. As far as the beer goes, this is a session lager, and this brewery, I guess they said that they kind of specialize in lagers, which is kind of cool. I'm a lager fan. So they specialize in lagers. The artwork on it is quite cool. When you see this tiger here, it's kind of reminiscent of the artwork on the side of the military planes in World War II or something. Pretty cool.
Lagers are kind of a hard style to do because they're so light. If you make up mistakes, it comes right through in the beer. So it's interesting to see a brewery that wants to specialize in such a beer that's going to show their mistakes if they make any.
So we got a blurb here on the side. What's it say?
It says, "All growl, no bite. Majestically mild, crisp, and electrifying. What at first seems fierce is actually approachable and tame. A crushable lager with the perfect blend of drinkability and flavor."
Okay, and right on the can here it says veteran-owned business as well. So you're supporting a good cause if you buy the beers. The other interesting thing is it's called Steuben Tiger. When I first saw this, I initially thought the brewery was going to be from Steubenville, Ohio, or something, and it's not. So I decided to look it up, and I guess Steuben Tiger is kind of a term of endearment that Germans use for cats, right? And I think it translates roughly something like living room tiger or something like that, which is kind of cool, right? I mean, I guess the idea makes sense. If you have a cat in your house, it's kind of like a miniature tiger, essentially. And I guess if this beer is a session lager, 4.2% ABV, it's kind of like a smaller, scaled down version of a lager. So, I don't know, kind of a fitting title there as well. Like I said, beer 4.2% ABV, 16 IBUs. Ratings-wise, it does pretty well. 3.47 on Untappd, 3.14 on Beer Advocate.
And the label was designed by Hyperquake. I don't know if you...
I didn't mention that.
Hyperquake
Did the label. There's really cool artwork on it. I always like to mention the artist. As you know, my daughter is in art school, so I like to give those folks the respect they deserve for their work. Now, color on this thing, this is very light. If I break out my Brew HQ SRM chart, I'm going with a 1.
I was going to say the 0, which doesn't exist on there, so it's got to be a 1.
This is like pale straw. This is very, very light. You can see right through it. Moderate carbonation. I expected to see a bit more, but it is a little bit there. It looks decent.
Yeah, there's some there, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not a ton.
Not crazy.
Head, I probably got a finger's worth here. White, kind of frothy head. Looks all right.
And it's not dissipating very quickly.
No, it's hanging about. Yeah, it's sitting there. It's all right.
Almost kind of soapy on the sides.
Yeah. Let's give it a sniff. See if we pick up much. It's not a lot. It's kind of subtle. Maybe like a light grain. Maybe a real subtle sweetness, but not a whole heck of a lot.
No, there's not a lot there at all in the nose.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe like light Pilsnery or something kind of similar type of smell.
It smells like beer in a good way. Very light, crisp smell, but it's very, very faint.
Yeah, let's give it a shot.
Definitely not offensive.
Cheers, homie.
Cheers.
Super light. It's maybe one of the lightest beers I've ever had. Very light body.
There's like some almost cereal grain kind of flavor in there.
Yeah. It's kind of like macro-esque almost.
But not
in a gross way.
Not in a gross way, not in the rice adjunct lager way.
Yeah, not the rice corn kind of sweetness thing that I don't really care for. What do you get from it? Kind of crisp, kind of light, very light malt, not much of a hop presence. Again, 16 IBUs, so I really wouldn't expect a heck of a lot in that regard.
4.2% ABV, so...
Yeah, I mean, it's really light. Obviously a sessionable beer.
Lager.
That's what it's designed to be. Now, that's what makes beers like this kind of tough sometimes to grade or rate. I know a lot of people would drink this and say, this is not for me, this is crap, I don't like it, it's too light, it's too low in the ABV, not enough IBUs, whatever. But that's exactly what this is supposed to be, right? This is supposed to be an alternative for folks that don't want to drink Miller Lite or Coors Light or those kind of macro light beers on a warm day. This is kind of a micro brewery's attempt to do something similar. It's kind of funny. I've talked to a couple brewers, and I remember some of the guys over at False Chord, which was, I guess, Modcraft previously, and they had mentioned, like, one of the things that a lot of breweries do is you do something that's kind of like a lighter beer or a macro-esque beer, because a lot of folks that, let's be fair, most people kind of grow up drinking Bud, Miller, and Coors, all that kind of stuff. And one of the things that puts people off about craft beers is a lot of times you come in and it's like a super high, ABV, or it's like through the roof with the IBUs, so it's too hoppy and they're just like, I don't like this crap, and they leave. So one of the things you got to have is kind of like that crossover beer, right? Got to have that introductory level craft beer, and stuff like this I think would fit the bill. So if you're not a craft beer drinker, but you went to a brewery and you didn't want sours or big IPAs or imperial this and that, right? This would fit the bill. I think on a date like today, it's very humid out here. It's not really hot right now, but the humidity is brutal. This is something you could drink. I mean, a lot of people refer to those lawnmower beers, and I think that's what this is.
I was just thinking the same thing. This would be like perfect beer for right after you got done mowing the lawn. Yeah. You're hot and sweaty, want something to relax and chill out.
Not offensive, it's not going to make you sick, not going to get you agitated, right? And you can just throw a few down, no problem. This is what this is, the Steuben Tiger.
Yeah, you can throw a few down and not be mangled, still be able to function.
Yeah.
But this is actually, in my opinion, this is a perfect example of a lager.
Yeah, a light lager, yeah.
Yeah, this is very well done. And if somebody wanted to try what a lager is, I would suggest this beer right here.
Yeah, you have some of the maltiness, right? You have some of the maltiness. It's one of the things I like about lagers. It's kind of like that malty, or that kind of like caramel malty taste. Now, I don't think you have the caramel bit, right? It's not really that kind of sweetness, but it's kind of like a light honey kind of taste to it. That gives it a tiny bit of sweetness, not too sweet. Has all the things you need, and again, kind of perfect beer for weather like this as we start getting into the warmer days. So for me, Steuben Tiger would be a thumbs up.
As for me, it's a big thumbs up. I would definitely drink more of these.
Yeah. So luckily, we don't have to pull the pin on this. We can just enjoy a few more beers and hopefully get through the evening. Hopefully this incessant racket over here ceases soon and we can enjoy our time. It's now 8:19 and this stuff's still going on, man. Come on. I feel like the old man yelling at people to be quiet, but how are we supposed to record videos if other people are trying to improve their homes? Don't they have any kind of consideration for the people that are
common sense and decency?
That's right. The world is lacking in all these things. Theology and geometry, it's lacking. If you haven't read The Confederacy of Dunces, read the book. It's the best book ever written. Hopefully you like the video. If you do, give us a thumbs up. Hit that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit subscribe. And as always, you got any comments or questions, jump in down below. Have you had the Steuben Tiger? Probably not, because there wasn't a whole heck of a lot of check-ins. I think when I went to Untapped, there's about 900 check-ins. So do you have a favorite light lager or session lager from breweries near you? I like some of the big, robust flavors and some of the other beers, but once in a while it's hot. You just want something to chill on the deck or the lawnmower or whatever you're doing and relax and have a beer, and this fits the bill. So let me know what they got in your neck of the woods. Hey, till next time. Cheers.